धृत्यायया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृति सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Dhriti means consistency, constancy, doggedness, by which the functions of the mind, prana is your physiological activities, literally translated as life breath, and senses are kept steadfast through yoga. Yoga is not just physical exercises, please. The world over, yoga is understood merely as what? Asanas and pranayam. It goes way beyond that. Yoga comes from the word yuja, which means to unite. Unite with yourself. You have strayed away from yourself. You're wandering, you're lost. You've strayed into the avenues of sensual indulgence, emotional craving, and intellectual curiosity. That's all our life is. So you need to get back. Any methodology, any process that takes you back to yourself is called yoga. Now, because you're not aware of anything beyond what you're doing, what happens is you've lost sight of the spirit. The human being, you and I, consist of the spirit, which is an unknown entity, and the body, mind, and intellect, which is known to you. So you say, something that is known, it's like saying a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. I don't know the spirit, it's an unknown entity, I don't know whether I'll get it or not, so let me enjoy what there is. Fine, up to that it's okay. But you haven't understood that your short sojourn in life is meant only to understand the spirit. And until you understand the spirit, you'll go over it again and again and again. That's why Shankaracharya says, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam, iha samsare bahutustare. This life is exceedingly complicated. Kripaya pare pahi murare. Save me, O Lord, from this. But that we don't want to be saved. We are firmly ensconced here. So, a person who has understood this. See, let's take a look from the intellectual aspect and the devotional aspect. The intellectual aspect is when you have understood that your mission in life is to get back to the self, you don't want to waste time with what is available here. You're totally dedicated, and thereafter, every thought that flits through your intellect, every emotion that goes through your mind, every physiological activity that goes through your body, every cell in your body, every nerve, every thought, word, and deed is geared to finding the self. That intensity with which you pursued your goal is so high that every aspect of your personality cooperates with this. This is the intellectual thing. Now let's come back to the relative. You don't understand this when it comes to the self. Anything you want to achieve in the world starts with the intention. Let's say your intention is to start an organization. Somebody's intention is to start a nursing home. Someone else's intention is whatever it is. All of us have goals in life. This is called ichcha. This ichcha, the intention, must be backed by jnana, knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, you must look for it, search for it, find it. So the intention backed by knowledge must translate into kriya, which is action. Let's say you want to do architecture. You need to gain knowledge of architecture. So you enroll in a university and study architecture. And then when you qualify as an architect, you have to back it with the right action, and that's when your buildings come up. The consistency with which you follow through these three processes is called dhriti. Let's take a look at it from the devotional aspect. A devotee is consistent, like Sant Tukaram was consistent because he had this intensity of devotion, is nothing but love for the Lord, Vithala. And it is this love, this devotion, that resulted in his being consistent in his pursuit in such a way that all his organs of perception, you heard the bhajan, which you're going to hear a clip of just now, every perception, pahava Vithala, action, speech, bolava Vithala, karava Vithala, every thought, word and deed is geared to, dedicated to just finding the Lord. Now you can't understand this with reference to the Lord because we don't have that devotion. But let's understand it from our level. When a beloved seeks, or when a lover seeks the beloved who's not there, and she's missing him so much, what does she do? Wherever she goes, whatever she sees, she goes out for a walk on Juhu Beach and she says, she thinks of him. Everything is a reminder of him. And so, every prana, every breath that she takes, everything that she does or does not do is oblated towards finding the beloved. That you understand? And nowadays, even that people don't understand. Because love nowadays is boiled down to only sending Valentine's gifts. Or sending cards, or buying a gift. The feeling is something, the depth and intensity of the feeling is not cultivated, unfortunately. So anyway, this consistency with which a devotee pursues the Lord, let's just hear a clip. It's so inspiring. You see what happens? When you pursue your goal with consistency, all your other activities fade away. And there is that one Vithala, Vithala, Vithala pursues until that also fades into silence. That is the last stage, which is meditation. The meditation ends in silence. The last thought evaporates and you merge with the Lord. This is Sattvic Dhriti. Now let's understand something closer to what we are familiar with, Rajasic Dhriti.